It is too hot in Texas during Christmas. It's been a while since I hit one of those. Hey everyone, DC Fan 99 here. I'm filming this on the morning of Christmas Eve, and I'm recording here at my favorite park, River Legacy, to make a video that I never thought that I would have to make. This is also, I'm pretty sure, my first video covering the 2025 season for the Dallas Cowboys, so sorry about that. I recently started my first long-term career job, and the work-life balance, boy howdy, has not been good whatsoever. So currently thinking of a career change at the moment, but that's not what I'm talking to you here today for. I'm here to announce the new leaf that I'm turning in a time where all the leaves are turning and falling. I got a little edgy on your ass. You like that?
Yeah, you like that shit.
For 26 years, I've been so dedicated and I've been such a loyal fan of Dallas Cowboys. You look on both sides of my family, all you're going to see is just Cowboys fans as far as the eye can see. I was born and raised in Arlington, Texas on November 3rd, 1999. Yes, I'm 26 now. I was here before the Cowboys came here. So I was born to be a Cowboys fan. There's no question about that. And in those 26 years, I like to think that I went a lot further in my time as a Cowboys fan than most fans will ever go in their lifetime. I went to all the games, preseason, regular season, postseason. I've been to draft parties. I've been to rally days. Rally days always happens the Saturday before a home game, and it's where you can go with your friends or family and play football on the field. And I did that with my dad a few times, and those were great memories. I drove my high school truck, my beautiful 05 F-150. Drove that thing around with, cowboy flags, cowboy stickers, magnets, a whole bunch of decal on it until literally the wheels fell off. The wheel actually fucking fell off. I worked at AT&T Stadium as a concierge because I thought that'd be a great way to make money over the weekend, and also a great way to actually be at the Cowboys games without paying a ticket. I did that for a couple of years. I'm a high school football referee also, and last year I actually got to officiate a game at Jason Witten's school, Christian Abilene or some shit like that. I don't even know. But I shook hands with him. That was pretty cool. I got to shake hands and get autographs from many different players. I took the museum tour of Stoney's house here in Arlington. Oh, I even went to the Cowboy game versus the Detroit Lions where Jimmy Johnson was inducted into the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor. Went to that game. I had to be there for that moment. I put my intolerance and my disdain for Jerry Jones to the side so that I could be there and be part of Cowboys history. Oh yeah, and I also was at the Cowboys and Packers game from this season, which ended in a tie. My buddy, who's a Packers fan, really wanted me to go. So I was like, fuck it, I'll buy a standing room only ticket. And that was my last time going to a Cowboys game as a Cowboys fan. I went very far, and not just showing my dedication and my love for the team, but also in my criticisms for the team and how I demonstrated those criticisms. I went to the Dallas Cowboys draft party in 2024, and I held up a sign that said "Sell the team," and I was on NFL Network for like 5 seconds. Went back the next year, tried to do the same thing. They refused to let me in. Go figure. I got these "Sell the team" stickers, which I've handed out to Cowboys fans. I literally plastered these on the poles outside the stadium. I put a big banner outside of AT&T Stadium on the corner of Randall Mill and Collins that said "Sell the team" on it during the Cowboys and Saints game last year, week 2, I believe. I've been debating other Cowboys fans. As a matter of fact, on my beautiful truck, which is no longer with us anymore, I drove around with this bumper magnet on it as well. You wouldn't think that you would have to try to convince an entire fan base of people of a Texas football team that you should care if your football team is doing very poorly over a span of 30 years. All that stuff, along with many birthday wishes spent wishing that I could see my team one day win a Super Bowl. I've done a lot for the Dallas Cowboys. I've done a lot to show my loyalty, and I've done a lot to show my love for the team. I have this channel where I've been making videos almost weekly for a better part of a decade now. Happy 10-year anniversary, everybody. However, I'm sorry to say that I'm moving on to greener pastures. By the time this video is posted, which will not be until after the 2025 NFL season is a wrap, I am officially turning in my colors, and I'm denouncing my fanhood for the Dallas Cowboys. And this is the thing. I'm going to do my best to explain, where I'm coming from and why I'm doing this. Listen, I can tolerate Jerry Jones. Okay, I can tolerate the nepotism. I can tolerate the corruption, the disdain for the sport that he has. I can tolerate Jerry Jones being a GM. I can tolerate Jerry Jones saying that we're not a football team anymore. We are a soap opera 365 days of the year. I can do that. Okay, I can all that stuff I can tolerate. That's totally fine. But what I absolutely cannot tolerate, however, is the fan base going along with it, and the fan base acting like that's an acceptable low to stoop down to. The fan base gave me a little hope. They gave me a little hope last year. Hardly anybody attended the training camp. And then one third-round pick traded later to get George Pickens. And then, all of a sudden, all the stands are filled up once again. Literally every single season, I'm pretty sure, since I started this channel way back in 2015, I said before, sometimes before the season even started, that, Cowboy season is over. They're not going to do anything in the postseason. And that's not to show my guru football knowledge, obviously. Remember the time that I said Vernon Hargrave was going to be better than Jalen Ramsey? I did that very obviously to show that this is the current state of the Dallas Cowboys. And I want people to start being intolerant about it and finally speak up about it. There are only like a couple times, probably just a handful of times I could think of off the top of my head, where this fan base has actually booed this team. And that's an embarrassingly low number compared to the type of accountability that this team and this owner truly deserves. I started my cute little campaign, right? And during this time, I was asking my Dallas Cowboy fan family members, my friends, my neighbors, my coworkers. How do you do it? Like, you look at how bad the team is doing over such a long period of time. This is the longest drought, by the way, in franchise history. And you look at the culture, there's clearly no urgency of wanting anything to change about, this embarrassment of a front office. What keeps you going as a fan? What keeps you attached? Most of the time, the answer was just, you have to emotionally detach yourself. They're just not emotionally invested anymore. A lot of them, they don't even watch the games. So you don't watch the games, you don't buy the merch, you don't buy tickets anymore. How much of a football fan really are you at that point? So I tried to be, over these last few years, I've been a bit more apathetic towards the team. Whether they win a game or they lose a game, it really doesn't impact my mood. It really doesn't impact my day at all. I couldn't not watch the games though. Like, I am a football fan. I'm going to watch my favorite football team. I have this channel. I'm not going to budge on that. I have to watch football. I have to support my favorite team. So I was done buying the merch. I was done going to the games. I was done just supporting them emotionally, investing my emotions and my energy into the team for the most part. And, I thought I could just do that for the rest of my time as a Cowboys fan. But eventually the problem arose where my apathy towards the Dallas Cowboys started to make me feel apathetic towards the game of football in general. And that just hit me a lot different. It got to the point to where I could hardly have fun watching the Super Bowl. I couldn't even have fun or be invested enough to watch, a college football game. Air traffic is busy during Christmas. Who would have thought? I was starting to not have fun with football anymore. That really upset me. That's a huge problem because football has been a part of almost every aspect of my life. And I still do high school football officiating. I've been doing that for 7 years now. If I don't have love for the game anymore, what's even the fucking point of doing it? And I really wrestled with that feeling for a while now, but inevitably the question soon came up: do I love the Dallas Cowboys, the Jerry Jones ran Dallas Cowboys, more than I love the game of football? And the obvious answer to that is no. Because if I was going to continue to quadruple down on supporting this team and doing what I can to, in hopes of turning the culture around, then I would still have to pass these out. I'd still have to ride around with, this on my car. I don't mind that much, but to not watch the games anymore, to short Jerry Jones of one viewer and losing my love, my passion for the game as a result, I can't do that. There's a lot of things I'm willing to give up for the Dallas Cowboys, but my love for the sport is not one of them. It's like, to be a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, you have to hate football. You wouldn't think that a Texas football team would drive you to hating the sport. I was stuck in between this rock and a hard place, and eventually I just realized I don't want to let Jerry Jones ruin the game that I grew up with. I mean, I would just be losing such a huge part of myself at that point. In 2019, December, I believe it was my mom's birthday, December 3rd, after we lost in embarrassing fashion to the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field, I made a pledge. I made a bet with you guys, and I said, if the Dallas Cowboys ever make it past the divisional round with a Jones family member running this football team, that I would shave my head clean, get rid of all my beautiful, luscious locks, shave, my eyebrows too. I threw my eyebrows in the equation also. I did that because I wanted to really demonstrate how badly I want to be wrong. A lot of people are probably going to hiss at me and say, oh, that's fair weather type beat right there. And I understand where people come from when they say that. I think that's a bit inaccurate, because being a fair weather fan implies that I'm leaving the team because I think the team is bad. And if I were to leave the Cowboys for the simple reason that they're bad, I would have done that a very long time ago. I started this YouTube channel back in 2015 when we went 4-12 that season. And we've had a plethora of horrible, disappointing seasons after that. Fucking mine? The only common denominator in the last 30 years of losing, and the longest drought in franchise history, is the Jones family. It is directly and entirely their fault. You cannot say anything about a player or say anything about a coach when the guy who's been writing and paying the checks to said players and coaches is responsible for immediately firing Tom Landry, greatest head coach in franchise history, immediately running Jimmy Johnson out of town after he won us back-to-back Lombardis, but somehow manages to keep Jason Garrett for 10 years. What part of that tells you that this guy is trying to fucking win? Especially when he's saying dumb shit about business and oil before fixing the Dallas Cowboys defense. Or when he really rubs it in and calls us a 365-day-a-year soap opera. I might be a fan of the soap opera one day, but even if I was, I definitely would not tune into this team, because the theme of this soap opera is nepotism. It's laziness, it's complacency, and that appears to be our identity. And I don't want to be part of that identity anymore. I'm gonna make it real simple. You look at a guy like John Madden, like millions of other people, he's really helped me learn to love and appreciate the game of football. When you think of John Madden, you think of all the things that you love about the sport. Just a big, fucking, goofy, lovable guy that loves to interact with different communities and bring those communities together to love and appreciate one thing, and that's football. The greatest mentor that there is, and the greatest teacher also. And, I admire him and I appreciate him every day. A lot of my favorite memories with the sport involve John Madden. Again, he represents everything that people love about football. And then you look at Jerry Jones. What does he represent? What does he remind you of? To me, he reminds me of everything that's wrong with the sport. He views the game of football as a money tree. Doesn't bring anything positive to the community. Doesn't bring anything positive to the game. Not even good at what he does. And yet he's the longest reigning GM in the National Football League. If he really needed to, he would mug you in a heartbeat. He doesn't care for winning. He's not interested about winning. And why is he not interested in winning? Because there's literally no reason to change anything. The money's coming in the same either way. The fan base is refusing to hold these people accountable. Why would they ever change anything? We had a disappointing season. We're probably going to finish 8-1. And more than likely, AT&T Stadium is going to sell out during its home opener and all the other home games anyway. Every season, we pretend that there's a lesson to be learned and then we forget it. Or it's something stupid that is not related to management of the team whatsoever. They just keep, if I were to quote Shango, he really said it best after the 2021 wildcard loss versus San Fran. Dallas Cowboys fans, you are supporting a lifestyle for Jerry Jones and his family, and they give you nothing. Can you I mean, is there really a better formula for losing? Because the Cowboys, they can just keep losing and keep disappointing all they want, and they get an infinite sum of profits anyway. No accountability means no reason to change anything. A lot of people swear up and down that once Jerry Jones finally kicks a bucket, that Stephen Jones will run the team differently. I just wholeheartedly disagree. I think he's just as shitty and money grubbing as his old man is. Why would he change anything when he could just do nothing and keep making money for it anyway? So if I wanted to leave this team for the simple reason that they're bad, this channel would no longer be up and you wouldn't be watching this video in the first place. I'm leaving this team for the simple reason that they know they're bad, the fan base knows that they're bad, but they don't want to do anything about it. They're happy with being bad. Oh, well, it was taking us so long. Why is it taking your team so long to catch up, dude? Okay, so as long as the Browns, as long as the Lions, as long as the Cardinals, as long as the Falcons, as long as those teams never win 5 Super Bowls, then you don't care if we never win our 6th? Does that sound like accountability to anybody? All these points, by the way, are points that I've been spouting off on repeat for the last 3 to 5 years, which is why, part of the reason why I haven't been making any content this season is because, I really can't say anything that I haven't said 3 or 4 times already. Besides the fact that George Pickens is awesome. I fucking love George Pickens. I would just be saying the same thing with, probably even less energy. You guys have seen, the energy has just been drained out of me over the last few years, and it's just, that's not fun. Who wants to watch this anymore? I want to make this clear. I am not leaving the Cowboys because they're bad. I'm leaving the Cowboys because this is an attempt to rekindle my love and my passion for the game. And I know I'm not going to get that back by following the Cowboys anymore. I can tolerate Jerry Jones wanting to lose. I absolutely cannot tolerate the Cowboys fan base wanting to lose. I wonder if I can brain blast. That's really that. I'm resenting the Dallas Cowboys. I'm denouncing my fanhood for the Dallas Cowboys. And from what it looks like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm never coming back. So where do we go from here? Like I said earlier, I'm moving on to greener pastures, much greener pastures. Oh. Physically and mentally, I feel so much better right now. Not having to sweat it out no more with losers that choose to be losers, and also moving on to a team that I know that I can actually be proud of. So now the big question, the elephant in the room, obviously, why the fuck the Eagles? Well, the first NFL game I ever went to was when my dad brought me with his work buddies in 2008 versus the Philadelphia Eagles in the wild card round. It was our first postseason win since 96 or something like that. So the Eagles were also the first team I ever saw in person. I like their style better. I like their aesthetic a lot better. It's not so PG. It's not so safe. The team, the culture is just such a fuck you in your face attitude. And they love football. You look at Cowboys fans and they just look like a bunch of drones. They're just they're golf clapping. I went to the Cowboys and Packers game this season, and almost all the people I talked to, they didn't even know the Cowboys had 5 rings. I know you guys are employed, but I'm employed too, okay? How the fuck do you not know how many Lombardis your own team has? Unless you're just a casual fan and you really don't care about the sport or the team that much. It's like the fan base of Disney. They don't give a shit about art. They don't give a shit about cinematography or movies in general. They're just going because it's a thing to do. It doesn't mean anything to them. It's just a thing to do. It's just you go out and you watch a Disney movie while the iPad is charging, so shut your kid up. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'm not a perfect person. Choosing the Eagles was done partly out of spite for the Cowboys, and especially towards the Cowboys fan base, because who hates the Cowboys more than the Philadelphia Eagles? Are they pretty insane about it to the point that it's concerning? Yes. But is it also warranted? Absolutely. Do I feel better represented in the Philadelphia Eagles community? Not entirely. But they're not chicken shit about criticizing their team and holding their team accountable. That's all I want. If the Cowboys could do that, I wouldn't even been considering switching teams. But here we are. So all those years of Cowboys fans saying, well, if you don't like it, switch teams then. And I said, fuck you. I'm not going to turn in my colors just because you want to keep losing. Congratulations. I'm sitting corrected. You are so toxic and you are so stupid that you disgusted me so much being associated with you that I no longer feel comfortable supporting the Cowboys anymore. Oh, well, you shouldn't care so much about what Cowboys fans say or what Cowboys fans, think of you. I wish I could do that. I wish that would be the case. But when they're actively enabling the direct reason as to why my favorite team has been terrible for 30 years now, you kind of can't help but resent them a lot. There are some good Cowboys fans, obviously. There are level-headed, actual sentient Cowboys fans that do recognize that there's a problem, that do recognize that something needs to be done about it. But the majority of the fan base, they don't want to talk about it. Even content creators that are supposedly, passionate about talking about this team, such as Law Nation and my favorite, Mr. Attack on Cowboys himself. They don't want to interact in this sort of conversation where they talk about the losing culture in Dallas and Cowboys fans that are enabling it. They don't want to talk about that. You know what they do? They block you instead. They just want to sell their merch and they just want to talk about the things that make their fan base happy. They don't want to talk about the mean things. They don't want to talk about the more serious topics because it doesn't give them that dopamine. Criticism doesn't give them that dopamine. Cowboys fans choose to believe that their team is the fucking shit no matter what. So they're going to keep doing that so that they can keep their engagement way up. That way they can sell more merch.
Buy that merch. Buy that merch. Buy that merch. Buy that merch.
It's just with every move that Jerry Jones makes and with every statement that he makes either to reporters or on the radio or in a post-conference fucking interview, it just makes me question why I really support this team anymore. And then you look at the fan base eating it all up, and it's just like, again, there's no greater formula for losing than what the Dallas Cowboys have right now. If the Cowboys fan base would just respond a bit different and stop going to the games and stop buying merchandise, things would be different. How many times this season have the Eagles fan base actually literally booed their team off the field mid-game? It's incredible. When the team sucks, they let them know about it. They wanted Harry Roseman's head on a stick, and then he turned it around. And he brought multiple Super Bowls to the city of Philly. And I understand, you can't just support a team based on how often they win. I don't think the Eagles are going to get farther than the divisional round, if that, this postseason, if I'm being honest. You don't support a team based on how often they win or how well they win. you have to support the culture of that team also. And, I get that. I tried to pay attention more to that aspect of the Dallas Cowboys, but the more I pay attention to the culture, the more I realize there's really not anything to like about the Dallas Cowboys culture. The entire culture surrounding this team is, hey, remember when we used to be good? You remember, right? When we used to win Super Bowls, when we used to give a shit about football? Yeah, remember those times? Buy the member merch. Buy our member berries. You see all this unfolding for the Cowboys, and you're just like, man, the fan base, they deserve better than this. The players, the coaches, they deserve better than this. The Cowboys legends that call this team out on an annual basis, they deserve so much better than how the Cowboys are representing them right now.
Put my damn championship on the table. That's all we ask. Put your damn championship on the table, and you couldn't do it. All their asses gotta go.
But the moment that you talk about that, the moment that you criticize their billionaire overlord, you know what Cowboys fans do? They call you fake. It would be so easy for me to grift, sell people this team and get 10,000 subscribers, get a sponsorship deal or fucking whatever. It would be so easy to pander to the things that this fan base wants to hear and to just constantly resort to, shitting on Eagles fans or shitting on other NFL teams for not having as many Lombardis as us. Just completely out of touch, just completely ignorant to the fact that all of those teams objectively have a better shot of winning a Lombardi in the future than we do. We have the dumbest fan base in the history of the sport. I'm still saying we. Hold on. Let me take off this necklace too right quick. You can't really see it very well. I don't want to move up. But if you look at my necklace, what do you notice? It's all silver. It's just it's complete shine. The color is faded away. I wore this for so long that the color faded away. It's a bit symbolic, don't you think? I'm gonna have to cover all this stuff back up when I go back to the house where my family will see me. So I'm gonna have to put this stuff back on anyway until I tell them after the season's over that Mom and Dad, I've transitioned. That's really the hardest part about this, is just knowing that a lot of people are probably going to be very disappointed. And I want to make it clear, it's not out of resentment for you guys. My family, my friends, my colleagues, coworkers, all of them, they have heard my very, very strong feelings about this team, and they're just as tired of them as I am. It's nothing personal. I just feel like devoting a quarter of my life to a team that's built for losing, a team that's made to lose for profit. I think that's good enough time to waste to show my loyalty and to show my commitment to a team that's no longer interested in winning but being a soap opera. Now, are the Eagles the brightest bunch in the NFL? Absolutely not. They're perhaps the most emotional fan base in the NFL. Along with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think it's a Pennsylvania thing. Just might be a Pennsylvania thing, I don't know. But what I love and appreciate so much about the Eagles fan base, they're actually sentient. They have their own culture. Fly Eagles fly. When they score a touchdown, they don't just golf clap and that's it. No, they get riled up. They will throw fucking snowballs with batteries in them towards other opposing fans. That's awesome. Oh, well, Eagles fans, they cheered when Michael Irvin suffered a life-threatening injury. I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware that that's clearly not okay. I'm not saying that the Eagles fan base consists of a bunch of angels, but they are so much more passionate about the game of football. I'm just choosing to support a team that actually does have winning as a priority, who has a fan base that's actually sentient and truly cares about the success and well-being of their football team. You don't get that from the Cowboys fan base. Oh, we're the most successful team financially in the world or whatever. $13 billion. I don't know. I've always found it weird to flex another man's wallet. The fear that Cowboys fans actually have to criticize their billionaire and to hold their objectively perverted, drunken, crooked piece of shit billionaire owner and GM accountable it's a whole other level of delusion. It's insane. And again, I am not making this transition because the Cowboys are bad. I'm making this transition because I no longer want to be part of the NFL's MAGA. Don't ask questions. Just assume that the billionaire has good intentions. Good intentions. Just assume they have good intentions. Just let them fuck you over just a little bit more, and maybe we can get a crumb of victory.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
Those coyotes or what? Jesus Christ. I tried getting involved, man. I tried to steer people in the right direction. I've done everything I could. It takes almost nothing to satisfy this fan base. Literally just like nothing. It takes nothing to win this fan base over. Eagles fans are fucking ruthless. When you do something wrong, they let you know about it in real time. And they're currently not going through the longest drought in their franchise's history. You know why? Because they're being proactive towards winning. And their fan base is being just as proactive as well and holding them accountable. Winning the Super Bowl is great. Awesome. Fucking do it again. You see, that's crazy too. You saw so many people when the Eagles fans, when they booed their team off the field one of the times this season, you see comments and people are like, y'all literally won the Super Bowl. Like, what the fuck are you booing for? What are you boo-hooing about? You have a winning record. What the fuck are you guys so unhappy about? Well, the simple reason, the job's not fucking done. What, you're gonna be okay if the Eagles lose this year? That's fine because, oh, well, they won the Super Bowl last year. That's how you turn into Cowboys fans. That's how you turn complacent. That's how you become stupid and your standard gets lower. You don't let the bar get lower. Okay, I know the bar is getting really, really low. We have fucking the president posting AI videos of him making poopies all over the country. And I'm well aware that the Philadelphia Eagles, they're capable of losing too. However, the difference is the Eagles fan base, they don't tolerate it. Why? Because they want to see their team do better. What a crazy concept. And the fact that you can't find that from Cowboys fans here in DFW, in Texas, supposedly the football capital of the country. I mean, what level of apathy just is that? I think Cowboys fans have a lower opinion of the Dallas Cowboys than I do, but I no longer have to care. And that's a liberating feeling that I'm going to have to put off for a couple more months. I'm going to ride with the Cowboys till their season is over. We got 2 more games. We got Washington tomorrow, and then I don't even know. Who cares? I've fallen out of love with football so much, I don't even know who our season ender is against. So what was the final straw? What was the moment that really made me start to contemplate switching teams? I really think it was last year when my grandmother passed away. October 12th, 2024 was when we got the news, was when we found out. On that day, the Cowboys played at noon versus the Detroit Lions. I'm pretty sure the final score to that was like 47-9. And, to pour salt on the wound too, that's also Jerry Jones's birthday. At that point, that made me realize, I think I've been there more for the Dallas Cowboys then the Dallas Cowboys have been there for me. My whole life, I fantasized about, the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl because I wanted to celebrate that with my family. I really wanted my grandmother and, my dad's side of the family. I really wanted to bask in that moment. I really wanted to share that moment with them. My whole life, I've dreamed about that. And I'm realizing now that that's not going to happen. So I'm resenting the Dallas Cowboys. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm never coming back. I think I'm going to finish this with something that my mom used to tell me. You should never invest more time and energy into a person than they're willing to spend on themselves. And I think about that frequently, and I'm just like, man, what better example of that is there than the Dallas Cowboys? What does that mean for this channel then? Who knows? I'm not going to cover the Eagles weekly because that's obviously not what people subscribe to me for. If you want to unsubscribe, you're more than welcome to. I probably can't do weekly videos anymore. I may just do a end of the year summary of the NFL season from now on and just gloat and laugh at how stupid Cowboys fans are. I'm more disappointed than anyone that it actually genuinely had to come to this. I gave this a lot of thought. I've had more than enough time to ponder about this, think about this, but I feel that I'm doing this for good reason. I feel that my justification is good enough, and I can't stress this enough. I'm doing this so that I can rekindle the passion and the joy that football gave me before the Dallas Cowboys took that away. I'm not ashamed. I'm not embarrassed of my time as a Cowboys fan because I went pretty all out. You know that John Madden also played for the Philadelphia Eagles? That makes it pretty special too. Again, if I was so fair weather that I wanted to leave the team because they were bad, I would have done that a long time ago with the Cowboys. I can handle the team being bad. I absolutely cannot stand is when Cowboys fans that reside in the supposed football capital of the country are okay with it. How brainwashed do you have to be at that point to think that this is okay? So there you have it. I'm no longer a Dallas Cowboys fan. I will continue to make videos on this channel, although probably not as often. I'll do a end of the year summary probably and gloat. And also just because, I'm navigating through life like what I want to do career-wise, and that's taking up a lot of my time. I'm trying to start a business on the side as well, trying to be as successful as possible. And I think this transition is going to give me more of a drive to go all out, try different things, and enjoy life a bit better. I love each and every single one of you that tuned in and supported me all these years. I cannot thank you guys enough. I can't thank my friends enough. I can't thank my family enough for, bearing with me through my strong opinions of this team and just tuning in, my diehards, my day ones, my day twos, my day threes, my year 10s. Just the support and the interaction that you guys have given me has just been outstanding. And I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you all. But I'm just going down a different path where the sun will shine much brighter, both success-wise and culturally. This is DC Fan 99 for the very last time in very disappointing fashion, signing off. Peace.